This podcast is brought to you by our friends at Minimal Case. Guess what? October 15th is the launch of the Pixel 4, and Minimal is so excited about it, they're giving you 35% off your order for the brand new Pixel 4 case you're going to pick up. And why are you picking it up? Because the Pixel 4 is going to be beautiful, and you want a case that is so thin and light, it'll keep that phone as beautiful as the day you bought it, which is probably going to be October 15th. And they're making it easy for you to remember because you're going to use the promo code October 15th. That's OCT15 because it's happening on October 15th. Get it? You betcha. Once again, that's MNMLcase.com and use the promo code OCT15 to get 35% off your order, and we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. Good morning and happy birthday, Digit Fam! 1 year ago today, I recorded the first Digit Daily pilot episode, and it went so well that the powers that be decided to run with it after like the second pilot. And here we are today. So here's a favor I'd like to ask. I know we've all been wondering what to get me. I mean, what do you give the podcast that covers everything? So I made it easy for you. Rather than some silly Instapot that we'll use once and never again, just pop open Apple Podcasts and hit that old review button. Toss us some stars, write some words, and we'll be as happy as Mark Zuckerberg at a coding challenge. But for now, let's get to it. It is October 15th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. It's Google Pixel Launch Day, which, as I record this, starts in about 10 minutes, so naturally we're going to talk about Apple. What? Keep your enemies closer, after all. I guess that's how we're going to justify this. Bloomberg reports that Apple is feeling pretty good about iPhone sales this coming holiday season. Not only is the Bitten Fruit shipping a flagship starting at $699, a full $50 less than the equivalent iPhone from last year, but we're also hitting an upgrade cycle for a crap load of iPhone 6 and 6S's that are still out there churning out the day-to-day. Remember those 83% of teenagers that have iPhones? Well, there's a good bet that a lot of them are on iPhone 6s. Back in the day, that phone broke all the sales records, and now estimates place that about 40% of iPhones in circulation are from before 2017. Based on about 900 million iPhone installed user base, that's around 350 million iPhones ready to be put out to pasture. Plus, we have new reports that the iPhone SE 2 is shipping sometime next year with a very attractive price tag of $399. All that adds up to Apple feeling pretty good about its near-term prospects. Add to that as of today, a lot of people are going to be deciding whether or not the Apple Arcade is worth its price tag. That's right, a lot of 30-day trials expire today, so it makes you wonder what the retention rate is going to be. Meanwhile, Apple stock is at record highs, and Apple has talked to its parts supplier and told them to aim high. So overall, it's a good day to be Tim Cook and company. But you know who it's not good to be? WeWork. WeWork is circling the drain big time, and there are rumors that over 2,000 staff will be laid off as early as next week. This, of course, emerges from the implosion of ousting its CEO, who honestly really needed to be ousted. But there was another unintended side effect of all this, and that comes in the form of Meetup.com. You may have heard of Meetup.com. I belong to a couple of Meetup groups myself, but I confess, I rarely attend events. Busy Adam, can't get social, you know how it is. Back in the day, I was asked to take over a Meetup group, and to this day, I don't remember which one. I think it might have been something WebOS related, but anyway, I learned that there was a subscription charge to be an organizer. And at the time, I balked, just because, why? There are so many other options out there that didn't charge anything. Facebook. But Meetup soldiered on. Fast forward to yesterday, and apparently Meetup is now charging not only that subscription fee, but now charging per RSVP to an event, even if people don't show up, and even if the events are free. Naturally, people are pissed off. Meetup is a thing over here in the States, but even more so worldwide. But Meetup.com may have overestimated its value once again with this move, and people are rightly angry. One person said they were charged as much as $200 for a single free event, and that's no bueno. And it's already got folks coming up with workarounds, like setting an RSVP limit to 1 and including a Google Sheet as an RSVP form. Whoops. WeWork clearly has some work to do here, no pun intended, and this is not it. Right now at the Daily, we're sitting back and waiting for the retraction, lest Meetup follow its parent company down to the unemployment office. But for now, while we wait for all that, it's time for the Roundup! Yesterday, Disney Plus tweeted out a 629-tweet thread with the title cards of every piece of content coming to its service, and can I just say, I feel really bad for that poor intern. The biggest news coming out of that thread was what was missing from the thread, notably 16 of the 23 MCU movies that have been released so far. Only 7 movies from the MCU will be available on Disney Plus on launch day, with another 6 to follow in the first year. This is largely due to previously set distribution agreements. Many of those MCU movies are tied up in Netflix and other streaming services. So if you're like me and you're hoping for a 23-movie marathon following launch day, you're going to be disappointed. How's that 3-year subscription looking now? Mozilla launched a website called YouTube Regrets, which is basically a chronicle of YouTube recommendations gone bad. Basically, this is Mozilla's way of telling YouTube what we've all been telling it for a long time: stop it. If you have a YouTube rabbit hole horror story, you can contribute to the site, and maybe you too will turn into a horror story. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but personally, I just wish YouTube videos would stop auto-playing on their own. The other night I fell asleep watching YouTube, and when I woke up, I was listening to the 36th consecutive John Oliver tirade about college debt. Walmart is looking to cut in on Amazon's turf, who originally cut in on Walmart's turf. Walmart is strategically offering discounts on third-party items while still guaranteeing the seller their full commission from the sale. Walmart is hoping these deep discounts will be enough to coax you out of some of your holiday dollars. I mean, discounts are nice, but Amazon has mindshare, and there are no discounts that will counter that. But still, good luck to you, Walmart. Sunday afternoon saw the world of Fortnite get destroyed into some kind of black hole. Now, Fortnite Chapter 2 has dropped with a new map, boats, fishing, a power plant, and as I said earlier, I suspect more things to buy. I mean, honestly, this is a whole lot of effort put into just launching a new map, but I guess Epic Games had to find some way to spend all their money. Good for you. What I can tell you is that my son was bored out of his skull yesterday, which is a day off for schools in America, with no Fortnite to play. But he did manage to live through it. Barely. Microsoft is trying to cut down on the trolls and general a-holishness that tends to, in fact, well, I was going to say gaming circles, but let's face it, it's pretty much the entire internet. Well, Microsoft wants to control its little part of that by installing filters on Xbox chat rooms, which will filter out content at 4 different levels and make it fairly easy to report bad messages. The 4 levels of filter will range from friendly to off, and I have to applaud Microsoft for trying to get a handle on this, but it will ultimately depend on how Microsoft responds to the reports and the people who routinely violate these filters. It's one thing to pretend it didn't happen, it's another thing to actively stamp it out. And finally, if you want to restore your faith in humanity, check out this tweet from a guy who lost his wallet. There wasn't much in the way of identification in the wallet, so the person who found it went to some great lengths to get in contact. It seems in the UK it's standard for bank cards to have account information printed on them. So the Good Samaritan made 4 deposits of £0.01 each and used the 18-character notes field to send a message to the owner. Full points for creativity on that one. The thread continues with a few more extraordinary efforts to return lost items to people. I once found an ID card with only a name on the sidewalk, so I turned to LinkedIn and found out that this guy was some bigwig chemist at the Morton Salt Company, so I called them and met his secretary downstairs, who was kind enough to give me a pound of Morton's finest salt as a thank you. I love it when companies really embrace their own product. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Doud, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.